Where do the Jaguars go from here? Let's talk about it. Now, before we get into this video, quick word from this video sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything, anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
So, guys, on BetUS, it's a great time to get your playoff picks in. You guys can really do a whole entire range of picks. You guys can pick your division winners, your conference winners. You can even go into the Super Bowl and predict the exact team, which team will beat which team. I mean, there's really all different kinds of bets you guys can make over there. And if you guys are interested, BetUS is hooking up my subscribers with a 125% deposit bonus right down below. Drop $100, you're going to see $225 show up in your account. So really, really cool stuff. All payouts issued within 24 hours too. So if that's something that interests you guys, definitely check out BetUS. Checking out our sponsors is a great way to help out this channel. Definitely appreciate the sponsors. And thank you, BetUS, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on to this video. So the Jaguars right now are on a 2-game losing streak after defeating the Houston Texans a few weeks ago. It was a much different moment. The Jaguars were 8-3 after that game, and we were feeling all good about life as we actually had the number 1 seed for about 3 hours there until the later games wound up being played. And we were feeling good about life. It's basically saying, hey, AFC South is in a rearview mirror. Now let's go fight for that number 1 seed. But since then, obviously, 2 losses against the Bengals on Monday Night Football, and then the Jaguars went to Cleveland and got their first away game loss. So now the Jaguars are 8-5, which is still a pretty good record, honestly. I mean, look, I've seen a lot of bad Jaguar teams, so I'm thankful that we are at least playing meaningful games in December, but the Jaguars definitely aren't peaking right now. We're definitely not playing our best football. Luckily, the Jaguars do have 4 games left to kind of get right. And, hey, maybe at least we're not peaking at the wrong time, maybe. I don't know. But we're sitting at 8-5, so that is what it is. But the good thing right now is that, look, the Jaguars are first place in the AFC South. And luckily for the Jaguars, all the rest of the teams in the AFC South actually lost. And as long as that keeps happening as we get later on in the season, it's more and more assured that the Jaguars will be able to win the AFC South. And I honestly believe that the Jaguars will win the AFC South. So right now you have the Jaguars at 8-5, and you have the Colts and Texans both right behind the Jaguars at 7-6. Now, the good thing about the Jaguars is that, look, both the Colts and Texans each have 2 AFC South losses. So in the case of a tiebreaker, if the Jaguars finish with the same record as these teams, as long as the Jaguars beat the Titans, then they're going to control the tiebreaker over each of those teams. So with 4 games left, that is a huge, huge thing to have, under our belts when it comes to actually being able to own the tiebreaker over those teams. So basically the Jaguars, in order to lock up the AFC South without even looking at what those guys are doing, the Jaguars basically just need to win 2 out of their next 3 games and then beat the Titans. If the Jaguars do that, it will very much happen. And look, I honestly believe, looking at it, because when you look at the situation right now, both the Colts and Texans actually play each other in week 18. So, as long as they play each other week 18 and then another team loses, then if these teams finish 3-1 as the season goes on, then the Jaguars basically just have to finish 2-2 basically. So it's and that's just pending that, look, their teams aren't looking that good right now. I mean, right now, CJ Stroud and Tank Dell and Nico Collins, they have a very injured team with the Texans right now. So they're not guaranteed to go run the table. The Colts, I don't think, are a very good team right now. I think that their record is a little bit inflated with kind of what their team really is right now. So I really don't think that they run a table. But, with the Jaguars, they have some pretty easy matchups coming up. Now, like I said, win 2 out of the next 3. The Ravens are going to be tough on Sunday Night Football. So that one, but the good thing about that one is, with what happened last week, the Jaguars can't afford to lose that game. But then they would pretty much need to win the rest of the three. So the next three games are the Buccaneers, who right now are at 6-7. Not great, but they did just win. The Bucs aren't like a great team, but they are definitely a team that you can lose to. The Jaguars aren't guaranteed to win that game, especially in an away stadium. But if the Jaguars want to be a serious threat, you got to beat the Buccaneers. And then they got the Panthers at home, which I don't have any worry about. Like, I think the Jaguars handled the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers are one of the worst football teams I've seen in a while, and that's, counting like last year, maybe even the year before. Like, I legitimately think that Urban Meyer's Jacksonville Jaguars could beat the Panthers with the way they're looking right now. And they have the same Jaguars team, basically, like DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. They have CJ Henderson. It basically looks like the same exact team. They even have like Jake Luton on their practice squad. So such a similar team. And then the Jaguars finish off with the Titans, who right now, as recording this video, are playing Monday Night Football. Will Levis has threw a really bad pick six. They're just not looking very good right now. So, like, I really do think that the Jaguars getting into the playoffs is very attainable. I think they have like a 90% chance of like basically being in the playoffs with like the AFC South championship. Like, if you look around at different like betting sites, like over here we look at BetUS, the odds are so greatly in the Jaguars' favor when it comes to putting money down on the Jaguars. So not really get much back because they're such heavy favorites. I don't know, but the thing about it is, like, look, if you can just make it into the playoffs, I don't care about what seed that the Jaguars are. Just get into the playoffs, and then that's all that matters. You start 0-0, and it's a brand new season, okay? And Jaguars have an opportunity right now where, look, if the playoffs started next week, it would suck because we are not playing our best football. But luckily, the Jaguars have 4 games to get things right. They have some teams that are in a little bit of lulls. Like, you have the Lions, who at one point looked like the best team in the NFL. They have lost 2 out of the last 3. You've had the Eagles on a 2-game losing streak. There's different teams that, like, they peak and then they go down. They peak and they go down. And right now, the Jaguars, they peaked earlier on. Now they're going down. Now we got to hope to fight our ways back up because, look, we've seen the way the Jaguars can play. Like, we can play good football. It's just, fix things, get things right, get this offense going, figure out what we need to do so they can go into the playoffs and start moving. That's the overall goal. And we've seen different teams with the Jaguars. Like in 2017, every game was just all about surviving and advancing. We saw the Jaguars in 2017. They beat the Bills 10-3. It was like, oh my God, this team is not going to win a playoff game. Another one. And the week after, they beat the Steelers 45-42. So it was like, where was that offensive performance? And then next week, obviously, lose by 10 to the Patriots. Miles Jack wasn't down, that whole thing. Last year, the Jaguars beat the Chargers 31-30. Trevor threw 4 interceptions. Not the best game by Trevor and the offense, but look, they still, came back and won. They survived and they advanced, and they almost beat the future Super Bowl champions with the MVP, Patrick Mahomes, in Arrowhead to, almost go on to the AFC Championship. So, look, right now, like I said, I don't really care about playoff seeding or anything like that. Just find a way to get into the playoffs. And I think that the Jaguars right now, they're 8-5. They have set themselves up in a great place to be able to make a playoff push and get into the playoffs. So that is really, really good to see. Now it's just all about, okay, get in there, finish off the season. Let's go 3-1 or maybe even 4-0. I mean, you can do that too. We got a really good opportunity on Sunday Night Football against the Ravens, and just a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Honestly, I'm not a sky is falling kind of guy. I'm a kind of guy that says, look, I've seen this offense do good. Even the last couple of games, when the offense is putting up points, it's just we're not playing complimentary football. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're getting bad turnovers. We're letting explosive plays go. Just some uncharacteristic stuff from the Jaguars. But let's fix it. I think that the personnel is good enough to make a run. It's just all about, hey, let's do it. Let's do it. So, with all that said, let me know your thoughts. Are you in panic mode, or are you over yesterday's game? Let me know what you guys think. And with all that said, appreciate you guys watching the video. Go Jags.